Welcome back to the Ash Gracie podcast. After an extremely long hiatus, we are back and better than ever. I have so many ideas for more things to create and more ideas to share on this podcast, and hopefully there will be more guests joining me to talk all things life. Today I want to talk about the concept of change and the fact that it is in fact inevitable. I think that this is something that I've always known, but something that happened recently in my life made me really dive deeply internally and face this hard fact. Not to get into it too much, but someone who was a very important part of my life has made it abundantly clear that I was no longer a priority in their life the same way that they were in mine. Although in my eyes unprecedented, my stark realization shifted something in me and made me reevaluate what I valued and found important. It made me notice so many small things that people in my life have done over the years that I just accepted due to the nature of me being a people pleaser. But it also made me notice the small things that people who genuinely care about me do to show me that they are committed to being a part of my journey. Back in October, one of my favorite artists announced that they were coming to LA, and Kelsea Ballerini is an artist that not a lot of my friends are super familiar with, so I had been on the lookout for someone to go to the concert with. If you know me, you'll know that I don't go to concerts very often and only when I have people to go with and the artist that's extremely special to me. My girl Janelle literally right away was like, I'm down, let's go. And so a few days ago, we got the opportunity to go and see Kelsea Ballerini in concert in LA, and it was the best thing ever. But who does that? She knows me well enough to know that this was an experience that meant so much to me and was beyond happy to be there with me, even if she didn't know the artist very well herself. And it's moments like that which make me secure in the fact that I should never have to settle when it comes to my friendships, and if people want to show up for you, they absolutely will. What I will say, though, is that there are a few things that I took away from my experiences in navigating my friendships that I'd like to take a moment to share. The first being that, though sometimes friendships and relationships fall apart, it doesn't discount the time that they were good. I've lost a lot of friends over the years, but they were all people who were there for me and supported me at a time in my life when I needed it, even if we don't talk anymore, and that's absolutely okay. While the hurt is real right now, I'm sure I'll look back at these friendships with only the fondest of memories and the best things to say about these people. Another takeaway is that everyone is growing up. Growing out of friendships and relationships is bound to happen, and it's not always anyone's fault. When hard things happen in life, it's always natural to want to know where to place the blame, and sometimes fallouts are simply circumstantial, and that's how life is. Goals and priorities shift, and it's never worth settling for plans that don't make you happy and align with what you want out of your life. I've also learned that it's absolutely okay to go through all of the emotions that a change in friendship dynamic provides. A lot of the time, losing a friend is never seen as big of a shift as losing a romantic partner, for example. But at the end of the day, it's still a relationship in your life that is changing, and it is extremely valid to feel and cope with that in ways that work for you. In life, we have one chance to build a life that fulfills us and makes us the happiest and best versions of ourselves. There's no time to waste on people or other things that are going to hinder our paths in getting there. We get the opportunity to meet so many different people on our walks of life, and most for good reason, but the hard truth is that they're not all meant to stay forever. I like to think that people are brought into our lives to teach us things, and sometimes once they have taught us that lesson, they are led to take a different path. I know that the person that I used to be close to has changed, and who they are now is less aligned with the version of me that I am now, and that's okay. I'm always going to want the best for them and have so much care and love in the world for them. Not necessarily because of who they are, but because of who I am. I consider myself a person who loves deeply for the people in the world around me, and I see no reason for me to change that for anybody or anytime soon, because I take pride in that aspect of who I am and the fact that loving people and caring about the environment around me is something that is important to me and I am passionate about, and that's a factor that makes me me. And even if some people don't like that all the time, that's okay because I'm not living my life to please other people. So, I also know that I have grown immensely in the years that we were close, and that this person has significantly helped me in becoming the version of myself that I am today. It's also really interesting that, in a way, I've noticed that I've been able to deal with this whole situation a lot better than a previous version of me would have, and that's largely because of the positive influences that they have had on my life. I'm not going to give them all the credit because I think that I've done a lot of personal work for myself, but I also know that if I was dealing with the same situation a year or two ago, I would have faced it a lot differently. I would have probably dealt with the hurt a lot stronger, and I wouldn't have been able to find lessons to take away as quickly and as easily, and it would have affected me in a much stronger way. And probably not in a good way. So, in a way, I'm grateful that I am dealing with this at a point in my life where I feel mentally strong enough to deal with it, and that I have a surrounding community of people who I know love me and care about me, who have been supporting me as I navigate this journey that I've had to figure out for the past couple of months. Things don't always have to be good, and things don't always have to be bad. Sometimes things just happen, and it's about how you face the adversity and deal with all the things that happen in our lives and come back from it. Because life is about having these experiences that will teach you lessons that you're going to continue to take with you on your journey further on. What I want you to take away from today's episode is that we are always in flux. Goals, values, people, all these things that are important and that make us who we are constantly changing as we grow up. And if you take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come, it's actually an incredibly beautiful thing. So I hope that resonates with you. And with that, I hope that my return to the podcast has given you something to think about this week. I hope to have new episodes weekly, and I'm looking forward to having you all for the ride. And as always, don't forget, you are amazing, you are loved, and I thank you for being here.